Laika did an awesome job in making some of the villains, because I am dead serious. The main villain looks like Grand Moff Tarkin from the original Star Wars. As soon as the movie shows him, I'm like, oh my god, they claymated Peter Cushing. I don't know, it's just a thought. Whatever. Okay, so Kubo and the Two Strings. So Kubo and the Two Strings follows the story of a young boy named Kubo. And as he lives a quiet and peaceful life among his village, being an entertainer and telling fantastic stories, he feels as if nothing could break that in his life. Until an incident happens, no spoilers of course, that causes him to separate from his village and go on this grand scale adventure, teaming up with this talking monkey, this giant beetle, to find 3 very specific items to defeat this dark figure. As Kubo progresses in his quest, knowing it has a lot to do with his past, he begins to unlock the mystery of the people that he holds very dear to him, and that he too could in fact become a legend. Now, Kubo and the Two Strings is, I believe, the 4th animation from Laika Animation Studios, the same studio who brought us Coraline, Paranorman, and the Box Trolls, so yeah, the 4th animation. With films like Coraline and Paranorman, I saw this huge potential in Laika Animations in being one of the best studios around because of its efforts on bringing us 3D stop-motion animation, which in this day and age, it's kind of a lost art. Everything right now is going CG, but Laika wants to bring us that feeling as if they're creating a world with their hands and not by computer. Knowing their history and their filmography, I was extremely excited to go see Kubo and the Two Strings, and I am happy to report that this is the best animation of 2016. I adored this film so much because the craft and the skill that went behind Kubo and the Two Strings was absolutely amazing. They created this wonderful and beautiful mythological world that just kept getting more impressive frame by frame as the movie progresses. Although the creators wanted this to be an animation, Laika also had the desire to make the movie feel more cinematic, because I am dead serious when I say this. This is some of the best cinematography I have seen all year, probably ever in an animation. It captures the grand spectacle of ancient Japan very well, as if I was transported into a world that I can only dream of, and I can't wait to visit this world again. As this movie is impressive to look at, the writing is also great too, because you have this coming of age story about a boy finding himself and how his past can ultimately turn him into a hero, which calls for tons of action and fun moments within these characters that's thoroughly entertaining as soon as the adventure starts, and it's just really impressive on what Laika had to do to bring this to life. But I was extremely surprised on how deep this movie can get with the certain themes and metaphors this film uses, making it a film that adults can look at and take it with a grain of salt. Kubo and the Two Strings is a great example of an excellent family movie, because for the kids you have the grand spectacle of the action and fun moments with the characters, while the adults, they can actually look at it and dissect it in what they can find to be a very mature film. And the voice acting all across the board is absolutely amazing, because you got Art Parkinson from Game of Thrones voicing the main character Kubo. He was really good. You also have Charlize Theron voicing the hard-headed monkey named Monkey, and Matthew McConaughey voicing the comic relief beetle named Beetle. So yeah, very thoughtful and inventive names for these characters, but they're all great characters all across the board. Some moments with these characters, they do have comic relief, but they do it in a way where it doesn't feel forced at all, where let's say the situation that they're in and like the moment was right and they do make a joke and it just absolutely works. I was laughing, kids were laughing, adults were laughing, everybody was having a great time when it got to the lighthearted and unserious moments within the film. But when these characters actually sit down and give their backstory as to why they're on this adventure with Kubo, it becomes way more heartfelt than what I expected it to be. I seriously almost caught myself tearing up because of what these characters stood for and what their motivations were, having the audience understand that there is a much deeper meaning of these characters' purposes. When the film finally reveals as to why it's called Kubo and the Two Strings, that's when I knew that this film is more than special. Also, you have the main villains in the movie, in which I'm going to tell you, I have a feeling that some of you may have a problem with only because of how much they're in this movie. And to be completely honest, they're not in the film that much, and some could even point out, oh hey, the villain's motivations are kind of vague and they're a little bit unclear. I mean, no doubt that you guys will think that after you see the movie, but I want you guys to look at the villain and dissect as to why they're doing what they're doing and why they're after our main characters. It ultimately becomes a deeper meaning than what you already have at face value. I thought the villain was really great in this movie. But if if you guys for any reason think the villain is a little weak based on its construction, then I totally understand where you guys are coming from. But either way, that doesn't stop me from thinking that Kubo and the Two Strings is an excellent stop motion animation with amazing voice work and incredible cinematography. And it's a much deeper film than expected, and without a doubt, this is Laika Animation Studios' best film by far, and easily one of my favorites of 2016, because Kubo and the Two Strings, without a doubt, is absolutely legendary. Peter Cushing would be proud, Laika, making a figure look exactly like him. Oh man, I almost forgot to mention, the soundtrack by Dario Marianelli is absolutely beautiful. I actually might go and buy that on iTunes. It's crazy good. Okay guys, have you seen Kubo and the Two Strings, and what did you think about it? And what is your favorite Laika Animation Studios film by far? Whatever it is, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, may the Force be with you.